perfect spot for a healthy alternative to fast food. They provide a variety of freshly made sandwiches, as well as salads and delicious soups. And you can dine in or take it to go. They also have many dinner options such as ham, turkey, frozen sides, and desserts, which provide a complete meal. Catering is also available for small groups or large gatherings. Call Honey Baked Ham today, 812-941-9426, or visit them 3602 North Gate Court, Suite 23 in New Albany.
It's time for Mondays with Dalton Pence on the Big X Sports Radio. Now, here's your host, Dalton Pence.
It is postseason play in the Ville. Thanks for tuning in to another week's edition of Mondays with Dalton Pence here on the Big X Sports Radio. Dalton Pence, Roman Kelly taking you up till about 6:40 tonight. The boys basketball 7th Region Championship is going to be broadcasted on this station. So we'll cut the show a little short for you today, about 6:40 in time. But that gives us over an hour to talk about a great weekend for Pat Kelsey's Louisville Cardinals, picking up their first Quad 1A victory of the season. We'll talk about Adrian Woolley coming up clutch and hitting the biggest shot of the season. What we saw differently from the Cardinals in that game down in Coral Gables. We'll discuss bracketology, the up-to-date metrics, and look ahead to the ACC tournament. Because, Rome, listen, the next time that you and I are on air together, well, actually, probably going to be on air this Thursday, but that we'll talk about. A little
program out there?
Yeah, we'll talk about that here later. But the next time that you, I, and Matt are talking about Louisville basketball, we'll have found out where the Cardinals are going to be in terms of the NCAA tournament seeding, who they're going to be paired with, when they're going to play, all that good stuff.
A lot to predict in between then, too.
That time of the year, it's here, man. I'm super excited. There's more wind in my sails, especially after Louisville pulled that victory off this weekend.
It's like that feeling in middle school when it's like those last couple of days before Christmas break. You know? And you know that there's just only positivity headed your way.
I was going to say spring break because that kind of correlates
I was thinking more like
better.
High school and spring break. But
okay.
Like that feeling of middle school, winter break, where it's just the only thoughts in your brain are consumed with what is about to be happening with the things you like to be a part of. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's just you're feeling good about the ACC tournament. You've got a victory against a team that's pretty, I'm not going to say like level with you, but better than you in some ways, even with you, more athletic than you in some ways. And you got that victory. You got over that hump. And now everything's still ahead of you. You still have the opportunity to do something special. And I'm kind of trying to buy into that vibe and that feeling.
502-414-1450, the Gameday Men's Health text line to get any thoughts in on this victory Monday. 502-414-1450. Got some texts, and these are before, but I heard you all talk about one. Georgia Southern. What a story that is. For those that don't know, one of their best players' name is Spud Webb. The other one is Tyron Moore. Rome, I'm not sure if you were able to watch Tyron at all when he played at Male. But I have been announcing basketball for Male since 2018. So when I started, it was Tyron's junior season, I believe. And let me tell you, a guy that has completely unlimited range. I mean, you talk about get the ball in the half court, and he's able to potentially pull from the volleyball line and make a good amount of those shots. Coach Tim Hayworth gave him an ultra green light, and it's awesome to watch him playing that same style that, oh my gosh, look down and he's got 30 points. They're one game away from the NCAA tournament. I just think that's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Well, look,
what March is all about right there.
Exactly. Speaking of big-time shot making, Adrian Woolley, take a bow, sir. Woolley. The biggest shot of the season by far. A shot that might change the outlook for the rest of the season, because I don't think you can discount like the psychological aspect of this win, Rome. Like, yeah, maybe Miami's not the best team in the country, right? But you get your first Quad 1A victory. And if he doesn't hit that shot, you probably lose, right? I mean, there's 19 seconds.
The way the momentum had shifted.
Yeah. That I don't
They
see
had
Louisville
scored in
winning
that
that
second
game.
half, or I should say, the way Renault got to the free throw line in that second half. Yeah.
Which time? Because he went to the free throw line 5 straight times, and at one point in the game, he had more free throw attempts.
It felt like it was like back to back to back.
It was
literally
like 5
like
straight times.
4 or 5 possessions in a row.
And half of those were, let me just drop my shoulder, drive into the defense, and when my shot doesn't fall, then I want the official to make the call.
Yeah.
There's nothing that frustrates me more than the official just sitting there waiting for the shot to miss, and then he calls a late whistle. But I'm going to give you a couple of awesome shots on the road, and I want you to tell me where this ranks for you. How long have you been watching Louisville basketball?
I mean, since 2008, 2009.
Okay,
but
that's
been remembering games since
okay. That's
2013.
That's enough. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 other shots, and you have to tell me which is better than Wooley's go-ahead three-pointer. Okay.
Okay.
You've got Jerry Smith's three-pointer at Marquette, late 2000s.
In the corner.
No, it was above the break. But it was like as time expired, beat Marquette.
Yeah, buzzer beater there.
I'd say it's better.
I think I can give that one the nod.
Okay. 2013 Luke Hancock, less than 1 minute to go, or right around 1 minute to go, the game is tied, and he hits a corner 3 at Syracuse late in conference play.
Circumstantially, Wooley's is bigger.
Okay, I agree. The other one is Russ Smith's high-arcing mid-range, almost like turnaround. No, it wasn't a turnaround. It was just a high-arcing, almost touched the rafters mid-range against Cincinnati in conference play in 2014. It's hard because that team was so criminally underseeded, it wasn't even funny.
And I felt like we were better than where we were in the moment of that game. And that was huge for us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that's better than Wooley's shot.
Yeah, I got to give that one the nod over Wooley.
What about Chucky's buzzer beater against Stanford last year in the ACC tournament?
I have a really tough one about this one because I still don't think we should have been in that moment. With that being said,
you were tied, right?
With that being said, I'm still going to lean Wooley because that was a lucky, technically the ball bouncing to Chucky in that time. I get, being in the right place at the right time is a skill. There was still a lot of luck involved with that one, while there was a lot of ice and veins involved with Wooley's. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I agree.
James Scott earned that second chance point for us, but the ball falls to him in a spot where he can get a tip to Chucky. That, in terms of taking the shot, what's going into your head in the moment of taking that shot, Wooley's is bigger.
Okay, I agree, because also you're going to overtime if Chucky misses.
Yes.
And you kind of had Stanford on the ropes at that point.
And losing that game wouldn't have changed where you were going to get seeded.
Honestly, it didn't seem like it. But you needed this win much more than you needed the Stanford win last year.
Yes.
So just had to clarify, Louisville's had some pretty solid go-ahead shots.
Let us know what you think on the Gameday Men's Health text line. If I'm wrong, you disagree, let us know.
I think the Wooley shot is better than the Chucky shot. It's better than the Luke Hancock shot, but I'm taking Russ Smith's buzzer beater, or almost buzzer beater, and I'm taking Jerry Smith's buzzer beater as well. This one, Texter says the Mango shot in 2015 to finally beat Virginia beats them all. Yeah, that's
the mid-range jumper.
The mid-range where everyone was like, no, yes.
Yeah, that's quite literally what went through my head.
I think that was everyone. He's your fifth option on the floor. And, hey, don't have to get ready if you stay ready. And he hit a huge shot.
I'll agree with the texter, the aftermath of how big that shot felt was definitely bigger than the Wooley shot. But, that's an isolation 3 to give yourself a cushion to win the game.
I was mainly talking about, importance, not necessarily, the difficulty of the shot. I think the difficulty of the shot was probably Russ Smith. Russ Smith had a guy in his face, and
one of the best defenders in the conference.
Yeah, was it Kilpatrick?
Kilpatrick, yeah.
Gosh.
So 6'6", 6'8" wingspan.
Yeah, no, Kilpatrick was a dog, man.
Because Mango was wide open, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't
I
it
think
like a
so.
fade?
Yeah, I forget who that play was actually called for.
Somebody was bent the corner off the dribble, and the ball ended up to Mango. I'll have to pull that play up, but the feeling I felt after that shot was the Mango shot.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the feelings for that Mango shot were some of the best in my Louisville fandom.
But I'm really glad that Woolley made that shot because, and I hate to kind of start with some criticism, but the offense that Louisville ran in that final minute,
What offense?
Very.
What'd we run, Dalton? What would you call that?
Run the clock down as much as you can and hope that you can hit a desperation shot. Which, hey, if you want to say that McNeely got fouled in the corner, I'm not going to disagree with you because I think that he definitely gave him a high five. But when you were dribbling the ball at the top of the key until the 6-second mark
Up one?
Yeah, up 1. It's not like you're up 4. You're up by 1, and I think it was Woolley that was dribbling the ball until like 6 or 7 seconds left on the shot clock. And Miami immediately took the lead on the next possession. So it's like, and then the next one, I mean, yeah, Woolley hit a straightaway three,
but you
it was
ran nothing.
Yeah, I was like, what are you running? It was like a desperation step back, and he luckily made the shot.
Like, that's an all-time Pat Kelsey blunder in the last minute of that game if Woolley misses that shot.
It's a bad one. It's a bad one. But just some things we're pointing out, right? Like, it wasn't the most perfect performance for the Cardinals. I didn't even think about this one. Edgar Sosa to beat UK in 2009. Yeah, that was huge. That was another, like,
That was the first
what are you doing?
First game winner first Louisville game winner I ever watched.
Really? That was I was probably a couple years ahead of that. Like, I started watching Louisville the season of their Final Four run, to be exact, in 2005. But then again, I was still young. I didn't really understand the concept of basketball. Like, I cried when Louisville lost in the Big East tournament to Pittsburgh against DeJuan Blair.
I remember that game. I remember Blair going crazy.
Aaron Gray. Is it Aaron Gray?
Yep.
Is his name?
Aaron Gray.
But I didn't realize at the time that the Big East tournament wasn't the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then I got even more pissed when they lost to AC Law and Texas A&M in the NCAA tournament.
Wow, AC Law. I remember that.
Was that was A&M, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
God.
First round?
No, second round because we beat
That's right.
Was it Boise State the first game? Boise State or Stanford that first game, and then we lost at A&M in the round of 32, I believe. Trying to go back.
Yeah, it was A&M. You're right.
Kind of trying to go back in my memory bank there. Gosh. But yeah, it wasn't the most perfect performance, but it was certainly a gutsy win for Pat Kelsey's team, and I think that is the main takeaway is that we saw a team that kind of was implementing some solutions, especially on offense, that we've kind of been yearning for all season long. Isaac McNeely looked like a player that we have not seen all season, attacking the basket, scoring in the mid-range. Like, this is, it's not rocket science. This is what we wanted to see from the Cardinals all season. You're making a lot of threes in the first half. Fantastic. I love it. But you know how you can attack the defense even more is by getting downhill, getting in the mid-range, and they did. Woolley took the ball to the basket. My goodness, it's awesome to watch him kind of turn it up over the past couple of games. One of my only gripes is that if you're Ryan Conwell with 18 points in the first half, you can't have 2 shots for the vast majority of the second half. I need to see Conwell get more shots up. That's my only gripe. Javon Hadley, Mr. Consistency. Man, outside of that, am I missing anybody? Really, Rome?
Not really.
Because getting a Mike Kell in this game, once again, I mean, the front court really didn't give you much. Khalifa had a couple of solid plays in the first half.
For what he was going through, he had a great game.
Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good game, especially in the first half. Yeah, I thought he also wasn't really that bad on defense. Now, Louisville's defense was...
Outside of those hedges, he's gotten better.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, we're going to have to
But why are you
realize
asking,
that, right?
hey, go do this defensive
Well, I mean, Sananda, I think,
for you
honestly,
to do.
I think that Sananda Frew is more vulnerable to doing that than Khalifa.
Which is weird.
Frew gets like
you expect it from Khalifa. Frew
gets
got the speed,
pushed
you've
up
got the
floor,
quickness.
man. He just gets pushed up floor. I don't know what it is with Frew lately, man. Frew, he seems like very. It seems like mid-November Sananda Frew. Indecisive, not really assertive, not trying to establish himself in the paint.
Tentative with his body
Felt
weight.
like he was playing against Kansas again in early November. That's what it felt like.
Kind of feels the same way with Kanai.
I don't. Yeah,
Not the time frame, because Kanai was playing well in the beginning of the year, but before he got
it feels like mid-December Kanai.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you think this is the players and the system is just certain aspects of their game not coinciding well with the system enough to shine consistently, or which is technically on the coaching staff, or do you think this is straight up the staff not knowing what's best for Kanai even 2 years in?
I mean, I think that you can't fully blame the coaches because the players are the guys out there making the plays, right?
You got to want it.
I mean, you can't blame the coaches for Sananda Frew passing up what was going to be almost a wide-open layup.
Yeah.
That, thank goodness,
Hadley knocked
Javon Hadley hit that three, because Sananda Frew, I was just yelling at the TV.
Right
I'm like, what are you doing? And then Hadley hits the three, and I said, good pass. I don't need him to sit there and hit step-back threes. I need Sananda Frew to, when he gets the ball in the paint, to go up strong. Like you said, he's been very tentative, not as decisive, and playing with as much conviction. Louisville needs that,
when you've got
though.
the biggest thighs on the floor, Sananda, move that weight around, establish your ground. It's like he was never taught, at least in the way the game's played over here,
out there.
but he was never taught aggression off the ball. He was never taught go pick the spot you want on the floor, command that spot. He doesn't do that. He waits till he gets the ball and tries to command something.
Uncomfortable.
He does.
I'm kind of at the point where he hasn't really had a great game in almost a month. So it's like, what can you expect moving forward? But hey, at least Evangelos Zougaris is stepping up and playing his role.
I have a question for you.
I might have an answer depending on what the question is.
Textline asked Mike something at the end of the show here, and I rarely disagree with Mike on at least U of L-centric things.
Okay.
The texter says, how far would this U of L team need to advance in the NCAA tournament to justify the amount of money spent on it? And Mike said the Sweet 16. And while I think that if you look at the numbers or the estimated numbers that have been talked about for Louisville and that expectation, I agree. But when you look at how I feel like the question marks that we had at the beginning of the season and how those question marks have unfolded, doesn't that kind of change how you view the justification on how far we need to go a little bit? Like Sananda Frew didn't pan out like we thought he was going to. We didn't get that consistent jump in Kanai Ruth's game like we thought. The defensive ability in our backcourt players is outside of Woolley. It's extremely, extremely matchup based. So yeah, we spent $12 million roughly on our roster. If you're spending, more than 80% of college basketball teams, you should probably be a Sweet 16. I agree with that sentiment 100%. I feel like it changes though. Like I'm not going to say this was a bust of a year where we spent this much money and didn't get this far because of some of the decisions we made with our roster construction that just didn't pan out. Or am I just looking too deeply into it?
I mean, I think that the question's asking about the money spent, and truthfully, I mean, you think about it like financially, ROI, what you're spending 10, 11, 12 million on your basketball roster, which you would consider what, top 10 in the country? Top 20
for sure,
top
probably.
20? I mean, if you're spending top 20 in the country, I expect you to be one of the top 20 teams.
Now, that's where I kind of go next because I agree, but it says to justify the amount of money spent.
Well, then it has to be like justifying spending. Well, I mean, it's
so if
just
they don't
a
go to the Sweet
theoretical
16,
question.
are we going
right?
to say you shouldn't be allowed to spend that
no,
money next
I don't
season,
really
Pat
think.
Kelsey?
I don't really think that that's the merit of the question. I think that it's just. I think you just have to look at it from a service level. It's like, okay, you spent. It's like Kentucky. You spend $22 million. The only thing that justifies that, if you're the top spender in college basketball, the only thing that justifies you spending it is winning a national title. Now, that's not to tell you that you can't get that money next year, but if you're, it's like it. Think of it like NFL free agency started today, right? Like Tyler Linderbaum got $27 million a season. That is almost 9 more than Creed Humphrey for the largest center contract in NFL history, right? The only thing that's going to justify that contract is if Tyler Linderbaum is the best center in the league because he's making the number one paid money. Now, is that to say that if Tyler Linderbaum doesn't play like the best center in 2026, are they going to cut him because he's not worth that? They're not going to cut him. I think that's where the question is centered around. It's not really. I understand you're trying to ask it the follow-up questions, but it seems like to
Ole
me,
Miss. It makes me think about Auburn. 2 schools who definitely spent more than we did on our rosters this season.
It's the same thing. Like, just because 2 wrongs don't make it right. Just because Auburn has underwhelmed and so has Ole Miss, that doesn't mean that you can't really use the whataboutism when it comes to going on, right?
I just think
can't use the whataboutism.
You're right, but I think that when I think about justifying anything, it's like I'm not gonna. That's about how much money we were allocated. That's how much money we're going to continue to spend as long as it's being allocated. I think I want to look how far do you need to go to, how far in the tournament do you need to advance to justify spending X number of dollars on a freshman, right? On X number of dollars on players that can't play. I want to look into that stuff, but just overall chalking it up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a conversation, right? It's definitely
that conversation.
I think
if we lose in the first round, I'm not going to say we don't deserve to spend that kind of money because we didn't make it.
Well, I think that you spent enough money. I think that the way that you put this roster together, I think that's the better question. Is it's not how far does Louisville need to go to justify the amount of money spent. It's how far does Louisville need to go to justify how the money was spent.
That's where I'm at with it.
Right? It's how do you build the roster better? And it's pretty clear because we can see it. You have to invest more in your front court. At this point, if somebody's coming off of a major surgery or injury, I'm cool, right? Get me someone that has been healthy. No disrespect to Case and Pryor or anyone else, but this is the second season that you were planning on Case and Pryor to be a major part of your front court, and you've got $1 million sitting on the bench, if that's what you believe he's been paid. So it goes that way. It's like, how do you build your roster the right way? I think that you're there in that sweet spot of money because
you've got enough to compete.
You've got enough money to compete. It's just that you have to be like scouting. Scouting is more important than it probably ever has been because you're putting together a new roster every single season.
And and it goes back to that, like for the SEC and the money that's allocated to other schools, Louisville's in that $12 million range. As we've seen in the last couple of years, schools that have progressed in the NCAA tournament, there's been schools in that price range. We don't have room for error, though, because the Auburns, the Ole Misses, the Alabama, they've got $16 million to work with, $18 million to work with. You can't have question marks. You can't have Kamaras and looking into last year's Ali Khalifas and a Kobe Rogers. I know how important it was to bring them both.
Yeah,
back
I don't think
but
year one it's hard, man. Year one it's really hard to kind of it's hard to gauge, right? There's so many factors year one, but year two I don't think it's a matter of you haven't spent enough money. I think it's that you misallocated resources. I think that you spent it on
front court wisely.
Yeah, I think that you went out
spent in the back court maybe.
Yeah, I think that it's also you got some sense of like redundancy, right? I mean, Woolley, McNeely, and Conwell are all three,
off ball
two guards, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then your front court. It's just that you have to be making smarter investments, in my opinion. You have to learn from it. So it's hard to make these decisions, but that's why the coaches make what they make. That's why you get as much money as you get to work with because, hey, you've got the budget here. I think that you're, again, going to have the budget next year. The issue is that I think it's easier to convince the powers that be that you need more money when you win a tournament game versus if you go out there and get embarrassed in the first round again.
True.
If you get embarrassed in the first round again, it gets really loud, right? I mean, winning against Miami is cool and all, but what people remember most about seasons
how they ended.
Is how they ended. Like the 2011 team, was a very, very good team. And what people remember about that team is that they lost in the first round to Morehead State. That was one of the toughest losses.
I was
as a
so
Louisville fan,
excited
dude.
about the run they were going to be able to make.
Preston Knowles was one of my favorite Cardinals of all time.
Wasn't our region in the bracket really ideal as well?
Well, I mean, the 5 seed Vandy lost in the first round.
Yeah.
Or was it the 4 seed Vandy? No. We were a 4, right?
Somebody lost. I remember.
Yeah, in that pod, I think Richmond upset Vanderbilt, so we would have had a good chance to make it to the Sweet 16. Yeah, that team was primed to make a run. And then 2017, you lose in the round of 32 to Michigan when you could have been a title contender.
Yep.
Right? So
best offenses in the college.
the
draft.
seasons are remembered by what you do at the end. Like, it's cool and all what happens during the season, but when you look back on it 5 years from now, you're not going to sit here and talk about, like, oh, yeah, that 2025-26 team, they beat Miami on the road in early March. Nobody's really going to sit there and talk about that.
Even in a few years from now.
They're going to talk about what you did in the tournament.
Looking back on the revival team, we're always going to remember how we got revived as fans, but it's still going to get chalked up to
you didn't win a tournament game.
We were
you didn't win a tournament game. That's
undersized and lost to a team with size and athletics.
Yeah, so I think that the verdict is still out on this upcoming off season, because I think that I'm not going to say that the way that the tournament goes is directly going to influence everything, because I think you have enough sample size to understand what's working and what doesn't. But I think that if you're able to, make a run to the second weekend, it might change your perspective here and there. Say, oh, well, maybe we don't need to completely destroy the system, but we do need to tweak it. Versus if you lose in the first round of the tournament, do you say, well, here we are, guys. We just spent north of $11 million, and we're in the same exact situation that we were in 12 months ago.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want.
Nope.
That's what you don't want. But what does this win do for the Cardinals, for their resume, for the upcoming ACC tournament, for the vibes, much more? We'll answer when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned into Big X Sports Radio. Top of the hour here on this March 9th edition of Mondays with Dalton Pence here on the Big X Sports Radio. Dalton and Roman taking you up till about 6:40 tonight. Don't forget, ending the show a little early because we are going to broadcast the St. X Ballard 7th Region Boys Basketball Championship tonight. I'm not sure what time that game is, but I think they're starting the coverage at 6:45 if I'm not mistaken. But 502-414-1450, the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450 to get any thoughts in about the Cardinals' win over Miami, what it means for their resume, any up-to-date bracketology, and all that good stuff. So, there is a text on the line says, thoughts on the new Kings PA announcer. Rome, you have any thoughts?
I'm super excited for this new Louisville Kings PA announcer. Did just get recently announced. Dalton, did you not see this?
Who reported it?
Well, I think it was Dalton Pence himself.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Let the listeners know, Dalton. Let them know.
Pretty surreal opportunity, man. Super exciting. That's what we kind of alluded to at the top of the show. I'm going to join Rome, Matt, and Grant on the three-man. Is it the three-man front?
Yes, three-man front.
Three-man front on Thursday evening.
Yep. 5:30 to 6:30. We'll see what time slide. Probably 5:30 to 6 for
Sure.
your segment.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll be on air with the guys, talking a little bit more about how that opportunity came about. What we got to brainstorm some ideas because I had some people ask me about trademark calls, and I'm like, I don't know yet.
We got to chat with the players first, probably.
Yeah, I got to think of it. Well, it's just like the first down call. The first down call is what I'm held up on the most.
If to make it basic and
well, I'm trying not to steal Louisville's first down call, but I want it to be special to where it's not generic. I mean, trying to enhance the atmosphere. You should know all about enhancing the atmosphere. Wink, wink.
You'll find something. You'll find the right thing.
Roma's got his own announcement that he's going to make in due time. That's why kind of hinting at something without hinting at something. But you'll know in due time. Happy for me, but I'm also very happy for my guy Rome as well.
A lot of exciting things happening here.
Yeah, a lot.
Here in Louisville.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement to be had. A lot of fun here with the Louisville Kings as well. Listen in every Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30. We'll be chatting about some of these announcements. We're going to go ahead and make the official announcement on Thursday as well. I'm going to be joining Dalton. Let's just let the listeners know, Dalton. I'll be doing the in-game hosting for the Louisville Kings alongside alongside you and the guys down there in Lynn Family Stadium. I've been in the sports media realm for going on 3 years now, about 2.5 years. And I've been trying to open up as many doors as possible, learn as many skills as I can. Obviously, anyone listening to this probably knows that I'm in the pursuit of a play-by-play career, trying to get involved with as many live sporting events as I can and learning as many skill sets as I can. Obviously, the radio experience, some PA announcing things I've gotten to do with soccer have all kind of opened new doors. And now, Dalton, you introduced me to the right people to get me into this opportunity, and I'm extremely blessed and thankful to just be in this situation, to know you, be friends with you, to be in a spot where you're giving my name out as a recommendation, and those people who reached out to me, they liked what they heard, they liked what they saw, and I'm going to be advancing the skill set and the hats that I can wear in this sports media realm. Thanks to you, Dalton, and this new Louisville Kings team coming to the city. First professional team ever, and we're going to be a part of it in its inaugural season.
I'm happy for you, brother. Really am. Really am. I know that you are going to kill it, knock it out of the park with this opportunity, man. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more in depth about it coming up on Thursday when we have our Kings coverage right here on Big X Sports Radio. But Roma, what does this win over Miami, does it change the way that you see this team at all? And if so, how much?
A little bit. Not necessarily, and here's what I'll go into. I think that I believe in trends. I believe in the way that your team is trending, right? In soccer, they call it form. Is your team in form? Are you fit and in form and on the same page and playing as that cohesive unit together? And while Louisville's had kind of a up and down end to the season, regular season here, I've gotten to finally see some grit, Dalton. And we hadn't seen that We've seen us have these shaky moments within games and allow those shaky moments to lead to complete meltdowns and crumbles. And that hasn't been the case in that wasn't the case in this last performance against Miami, allowing them to go on those runs, and you got to weather the storm through those runs and get the buckets you needed and the stops you needed when it was most critical. It feels good to know you could do that against a good team, right? This isn't a great team. I think this is maybe even at the current, the moment leading up to that game, potentially a little bit of an overrated team in Miami. With that being said, it was still a good team, a very athletic team, and an efficient team with the way that they go about attacking offensively in the paint. Things that we've struggled with. And we were able to get over that hump. That makes me feel good, Dalton, just because we hadn't done it. I don't know just how of a, the atmosphere in Miami isn't crazy, but there were fans there. They got loud in some moments. It's still a somewhat hostile environment just playing on the ACC on the road on a team that's having their senior night. We haven't got to see us show grit and determination and be the team that actually wants it more, that comes out of the gates with that intensity and that aggression. Granted, it wasn't immediate. We had to feel the game out for a second, but we still had that edge. And we didn't lose that edge when the other team started to fight back and make their adjustments, right? They made their adjustments, shut off the Ryan Conwell, easy looks, didn't let him just step into stuff, kept the body close to him off the ball, and we continued to take good shots. We continued to adjust our offense from there. And that's what you have to do if you want to win games in March against good teams. Finally got to see it, so that makes me feel confident. At least if we get into a close game scenario in this postseason, I'll know that we're not down and out. I kind of felt that way going into the Miami game about close game scenarios against good teams. Now I have a little bit more reason to feel confident.
Yeah, at some point we needed to see it, right? And it's hard to have a ton of trust thinking that it could happen for the first time in the NCAA tournament or even the ACC tournament, but to see Louisville go on the road and beat a Miami team that I didn't feel like they matched up well with at all, but also to do so without Michael Brown Jr. in the fashion in which they did it. I mentioned it wasn't perfect, but it was gutsy. Now, I do still worry about the team's defense, right? I mean, you scored 92, but you gave up 89. So have to do a better job of staying in front of people, moving your feet on the perimeter, and not letting guys just get into the lane at ease, or with ease, if you will. So, I mean, we saw that this team can compete, but it's a step in the right direction, but it doesn't change overall too much for me. Like, it still remains the same. If Louisville can win one tournament game, it's like a collective sigh of relief from the fan base, especially for me, and then anything after the round of 32 is icing on the cake, in my opinion. So, doesn't really change too much. I'm not going to allow one game to alter a season's worth of sample size. Now, if they are able to win against the winner of SMU and Syracuse and then beat Miami again going into the ACC tournament semifinals, then I think that you have a different conversation. But at this current moment, it's awesome. It allows you to kind of, take a deep breath and enjoy it. But it's not really changing too much at the moment.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm going to see the good in it. I'm not going to let it determine my ability or how I build my expectations.
Question says, I'm starting to worry that we will lose Amari Berry to UCLA or TCU. I mean, TCU is all about going into the portal and taking top players away. I mean,
they don't mind a Louisville player either. Ex-Louisville player, if that were to be the case.
They haven't taken a player from Louisville, but
true.
I mean, I'm not really. Of course, you're probably going to have to increase whatever NIL she's getting, right? Because she's proven to be a very, very good player. But I mean, I'm not really sure. It's hard to really talk about whether. Good thing is she's from Tennessee, right? So there's not like a geographical appeal. Well, I mean, yeah, you go play in Los Angeles. That there are worse places to play, right? Says we're not starting her, but I assume that she will next year. Yeah, she's going to start next year. She's back at Louisville. She's going to start. I think that she plays that sixth. She plays that sixth player off the bench rolls so well to where it's like this year it makes sense. Next year, she's going to be an every game starter. But I think it's just too early to tell about losing a player to the portal because you just don't know. There's so many things behind the scenes, right? Agents, schools working behind the scenes. It's just hard to tell. So, not really worrying about anything until after the tournament. Let me ask you this, Rome. I've discussed this on my show, but I want to hear your take as well. How far does Louisville need to go for it to be considered a successful ACC tournament appearance for the Cardinals? Like, how many games do they have to win?
To be a successful ACC tournament, I'd say you have to win 2 games.
I agree. Does it change if...
I think the expectation is to win that first one because...
Yeah, you got to win the first one.
At this point, it's against the team you've beaten, Syracuse or SMU. And I think if it's Miami you see in that second round game, our second matchup in the ACC tournament, then it's a game that you know you're capable of winning, but you can't chalk it up to a victory. Probably going to be another pick'em spot in that one. So I can't sit here and say my expectation is to win that first game and win that second game. But if you do win that second game, I will be viewing it as a successful trip to Charlotte.
I think you need to win the first 2 games. The second one, you just have to continue to prove that you can beat a good team. I think that getting to Friday is successful. I do think that if, for whatever reason, Virginia were to lose on Thursday and you win on Thursday, that I'm expecting you to make the conference championship. I think right now it's 2 games, but if Virginia were to lose, then I would say you need to win that 3rd game.
I agree.
You think prediction time, do you think that we see Michael this week?
Yes. That doesn't seem to be the popular opinion, but I do. I think we do.
I think we see him on
Thursday if we win.
Yes.
I think that's probably the hope based on what it sounds like. I mean, the hope is to get him back. I'm hoping we can get him back for this first game. If it's even 10 or 15 minutes at his best, I'm taking that. I'd like to see him get some reps before the NCAA tournament starts.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
If you don't see him, like, I hate to go major hypothetical here. Say we don't see him Wednesday or Thursday and we lose Thursday, hypothetically.
Okay.
And he says he's good to go for the first tournament game. Do you throw him back in the starting lineup?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I think that with the level that he's playing at, you have to. And even if you don't start him, he's got to play about 30 minutes a game. I think that that's something else is like, I think it's like by default, this isn't on Michael, but it's going to sound like it, but listen to my rationale here. I think that because Pat Kelsey has one less guard that he can play means less of a guard rotation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
not seeing Kobe get a
yeah,
major
it doesn't matter that it's Michael. It could be any guard on the team. If one guard misses a game, that's another guy that you can't throw into the game, right? So there's less of a rotation. I think that less is more in this sense. And even when Michael, hopefully he is back, and if/when he does come back, I think you just it needs to be like, look, I'm a huge fan of Kobe Rogers, but you've got your 4 guards. If Kobe Rogers is playing, sparingly here and there, that's fine. And if McNeely is struggling, then you've got your 3 guards. You've got to go with your best players every night. And if Kobe's one of your best players on any given night, play him more. That's the whole conversation here. It's like your rotation just has to be better. No hockey substitutions, because those frequent substituting patterns just don't seem like they're working all that well. So I think that's just got to be smarter with the subs. I'm okay with Zoo starting out the game. He brings the intensity. What concerns me or intrigues me, so to speak, is Zoo doesn't seem like he's playing a lot, though. Like, he's starting the game, but it seems like he's playing less out of him, Khalifa, and Frew.
And if you're going to start him to give that, just to have that factor at the beginning of a game for him to impose his will, to show what we can be down on the interior and on the glass, give him a couple more minutes. Just give him a couple. Let him get to the media timeout.
Yeah.
Got to be that factor for longer than what we're using him for if he's still going to not play very many minutes throughout the game.
I agree.
Buy into it. Full on. Let him come out there and throw a couple elbows to start the game.
Oh, man, I'm going back and forth on how I feel about potentially playing SMU a third time. And I'll tell you where my head's at when we come back for the final segment. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned into Mondays with Dalton Pence here on Big X Sports Radio. Go. Hi, this is Dalton Pence with Big X Sports Radio with a message to you from Collier Law Firm. Have you been injured in an accident or on the job? The Collier Law Firm's got your back. The Collier Law Firm is more than just a typical injury law firm. It's a team of former insurance defense attorneys and paralegals with unbeaten experience. And with attorney fees starting at just 25%, Collier Law Firm puts more money back in your pocket because they have your back, not your wallet. Don't settle for less. Trust Louisville's own Tony Collier and the Tony Collier Law Firm to get you the best results. Visit us today at CollierLawFirm.com. That's COLYER lawfirm.com.
This season, treat yourself to great food and stunning views at Recipe, the restaurant at Christmas Lake Golf Course. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Recipe is the perfect place to gather with family and friends. Enjoy delicious meals, a cozy atmosphere, and a menu that will keep you coming back for more. And the best part, you don't have to be a golfer to dine with us. Visit Recipe today, where great food meets great company. Christmas Lake Golf Course, open to the public.
Options. When it comes to insurance, that's exactly what you deserve. I'm Chad Hennessy with InsureMax, and I've been proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. As an independent agent, we work with Auto Owners Insurance to find coverage that fits you, not the other way around. InsureMax delivers strength, service, and peace of mind through partners like Auto Owners Insurance. More choices, more options. Call me, Chad Hennessy, at 502-479-4085.
The plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC technicians of Local 502's commitment to excellence can be seen in our community every day. The KFC Yum Center, Ford Motor Company, and the Omni Hotel are just a few examples of their professional craftsmanship. Local 502 has been part of our community for over a century and invests over $1 million annually training skilled local workers. Members of Local 502 are your friends, neighbors, and children's coaches. For more information, go to lu502.com. Local 502, built on excellence, building a better tomorrow.
Showcase your business on air with WXVW and the Mike Rutherford Show live from your location. Reach thousands of engaged listeners and put your brand in the spotlight. Call me, Lisa, at 502-298-8484. That's 298-8484 to learn more.
I spend my days teaching fifth graders that big things are built one step at a time.
And at home, we're living that lesson. I'm Kevin Miles.
I'm Rachel, wife, teacher, and we're getting ready to welcome our baby boy.
We can't wait. We're practicing being big siblings.
Crawlspace Medic is our family business, built on one simple belief. Your home should feel safe, comfortable, and healthy for the people you love most.
Crawlspace Medic, a healthy home starts from the ground up. You can find us at crawlspacemedic.com.
I'm Kathy Binkaman. Over the holiday, there was an attempted fraud attack. My personal banker, Mary Rose, and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
When design is key to your landscape project, give Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design a call at 812-288-6691. Walnut Ridge has more experience than any landscape company in the area. Remember, Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design. When design is key to your project and you want the most experienced landscaping company in the area. Give Walnut Ridge a call at 812-288-6691. Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design. When design is key.
One segment to go here on this March 9th edition of Mondays with Dalton Pence, and we have a lot to cram in because this is the last segment before we find out Louisville's NCAA tournament fate, because don't forget, this is Mondays with Dalton Pence, so next Monday, we will know. We'll probably be mad because it seems like we're always mad about Louisville's tournament seeding, but let's start out here before we get to bracketology. Is it pretty clear that you'd rather play Syracuse over SMU? Are we in agreement on that, Rome?
I mean, I think this is going to be one of those weird takes that I'm in the minority on.
Don't do it. Don't tell me.
Give me the one quad one opportunity guarantee.
Are they still quad one?
Yes.
Are you sure?
On a neutral, yes.
Okay, yeah, that might make sense.
It's like how
I'm looking at it now.
How confident are you that we're going to beat Miami again? It's more so where I'm at. Do I think that we're going to beat? Do I like the chances of us beating Miami again that quick on that turnaround from having just played them, or maybe an SMU team without a BJ Edwards playing?
Is he hurt?
He didn't play in their last game.
So SMU currently, they're 39th in the net. This is pretty solidly
as much as I want to just win a tournament.
If you're talking about like that aspect of it, I can see the situation. I'm just talking like which team would you rather play?
I'm more confident in our ability to beat Syracuse.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up. If you want to talk about like the impact of a win, I don't disagree with that. But here's the thing. There's growing concern that the committee's not really factoring in conference tournament results as much. Because look at last year. Louisville beat Clemson, made it to the ACC championship game, and it really didn't matter. They got an 8 seed. Now, the difference between last year and this year is that last year the strength of schedule was 58. This year it's top 30. And you have almost like double the amount of quad one wins. So you do have stuff working for you this time around. I just don't know how much another, like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe it does, like, differentiate the 6 and the 7 line in the NCAA tournament, but I don't know, man. I would just much rather play Syracuse, get to Thursday. I mean, you could beat SMU. Don't get me wrong. Let me know what you all think. 502-414-1450 to get in on the Gameday Mens Health text line. But I'm just worried that SMU right now is, now granted, they're struggling. They're struggling bad. But now they're like firmly on the tournament bubble. They might be on the outside looking in. They're going to be super desperate. And we saw what SMU super desperate looked like about a month ago when we played down in Fort Worth and we got beat. So I understand the opportunity, but I'm like, man, let's play Syracuse first game and rest Michael because we know we can, and then bring it back for Miami. That's where I'm at.
I think that would suit us best.
Selfishly, though, you want another quad 1W.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it. How do you feel about a potential Miami rematch?
I
feel like they're going to come out with something to prove, or do you feel like if you get Michael back, Louisville sitting there like, well, you saw how the officials kind of handed you a lifeline and sent Malik Renew to the free throw line 5 straight times, and at one point in the game, late in the game, he had more free throws made than we had attempted.
And I know that, conference tournament even, the whistle's going to change a little bit. I think that ultimately they're going to defend Ryan the entirety of the game like they did in the first half. And there's just the opportunity for us to have a game where we struggle to get those clean, good looks like we did.
Mm-hmm.
When Ryan doesn't get going in the first half like that, command all of the attention pretty much after the first 10 minutes of the game for the rest of the game on. When he's on the floor, you have to watch him. That made everything easier from everybody else. You don't get that from the very start like you did in this one, hypothetically. I wouldn't assume that they're going to just give him all that space again. Then no Michael in that one as well. Potentially, then you're looking at like a game where both halves look potentially like the second half did, where we lost the second half. So don't want that. Don't think we have enough without Michael offensively when Ryan gets defended in that way.
Yeah.
I agree. Offensively from Miami, I wasn't impressed with anything they did. They had 2 or 3 good sets that worked well. They were kind of dummy sets to get the big open. One was that lob that they kind of throw that flare screen. They give it over to the left side, then give it right back over to the right side, and the big dives to the basket. And they found the lob there, where a play like that where a counter from one of the movements worked as well. A lot of broken offense outside of that, which I kind of like our chances in those clunky, hectic kind of games. Louisville kind of thrives in that hecticness more times than not.
I don't disagree.
Now, if it's hecticness when everybody on the lineup is 6'7" or above, like in Arkansas or Tennessee, a little different. But we performed well through their athleticism.
Sorry, I'm sitting here in a Chargers group chat talking about how this team doesn't care about trying to win a Super Bowl. NFL free agency has started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the bracketology. Field of 68 just put out a tweet, recent bracket. Louisville, the 6, matching up with Miami of Ohio is the 11. I have a take. Give me the Red Hawks every day of the week. That's my take, Rome.
Really?
I want to play Miami.
Mike feels the same way.
I want Miami, man, because here's the thing. And I hate to do this because common opponent syndrome is what I call it. You can't really look that much into it, but, man, Miami's struggling with MAC teams. Louisville demolished Ohio earlier in the season before things were really going all that well. I think Miami's going to be a tough test. I think whoever you play is going to be a tough test. But there's a reason why we're sitting here talking about if Miami doesn't get the automatic qualifier, if they're even going to be in the tournament field. That's because they really don't play anybody. And they've been struggling with MAC competition. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome to see what they're doing. Anytime you see a team go undefeated, it's not easy to do. And I understand this whole notion of, we tried to schedule the tough teams. But this is what hurt Louisville last year. Louisville almost went perfect in ACC play. And nobody cared because they saw the teams that Louisville was beating, right? And I feel like I feel for Miami because I think they're going through the same thing. They're handling their business. But just like Louisville's ceiling was limited last year, I feel like so was Miami's. I feel like this is just a team that Louisville would match up well with.
And they did. When you looked at the ways they've gone up against opponents built similarly, like you just mentioned, I still fear that feistiness, though, when you're talking about a team that hasn't lost.
Yeah, but they haven't really dealt with that adversity either, though.
No, or a good team, truly. So you're right. At the end of the day, they haven't been playing in games against opponents of our caliber, of our size. We should be able to handle them. I don't like storylines, though. They scare me, though.
I mean, there's going to be much more attention on that game. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be much more attention on that game. But there's going to be attention regardless. Would you rather play a Power 5 team that's right there on the bubble, or would you rather play a mid-major? If you get the 6, if you get the 6 and you get the 11, and there's a chance that you get one of the first 4 game winners, which would be like a really good mid-major or a
team that
lackluster Power 4, Power 5.
Give me a team that hasn't seen us all season, a team like us all season long over a team that's beat opponents of our caliber. But that's feels like a loser mentality. But so does it. Like,
no, I mean you want the best. You want the best matchup. I don't get it. It's not loser mentality. You want the best matchup. I think that
is the best matchup the team that hasn't lost.
Well,
I get it.
Look at who they played.
Yeah,
I mean, look, what they're doing is impressive, but that doesn't mean that just because they're undefeated, like they're not Wichita State level of undefeated, right?
Yeah,
they're not Gonzaga level of undefeated. What they're doing is extremely impressive. I'm not trying to take away anything from the Red Hawks. I'm just saying that if they match up with Louisville, I'm predicting the Cardinals to win that game. That's what I'm saying. Could they end up beating the Cardinals? Yeah. Will they? I don't think so. Like I need to look at. I'm gonna go and look at their resume. Let's see. Miami is. What's up, Matt? Matt popping in for the last 10 minutes. Matt, get in on this conversation. Matt Childress is here. Matt, if you get the 6th seed in the tournament and the 11th seed is Miami, do you feel good or bad about that?
Are we talking about just winning the game or on vibes?
Winning the game.
Winning the game, yeah, of course.
Miami is 55th in the net, Rome. They have, guess how many quad 1 wins they have?
0?
0! Their best win is against Akron at home.
That's a quad 2.
And honestly, Akron could beat them in the conference tournament.
They're their favorite, aren't they?
They might be, but I told Rome, there's like, what they're doing is impressive, but because they haven't played anybody and they've been struggling with MAC teams, like, give me Miami of Ohio. If I could pick my 11 seed, I'd take them over a Power 4, Power 5 team. I think that you have a size advantage there.
I would take them in terms of, like, matchup reasons, and if all I'm worried about is making the second day, which I think everybody is.
Like
but
the X's and O's, yeah, I get it.
But I'm also kind of leaning on Roman's side here, where you are just the villain of the March Madness from then on forth if you win that game, and everybody is rooting for you to lose. And I just don't know if this team has the stuff to be the villain. Like, I don't know if that's something, like, that's just a complete superstitious vibes thing. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter. But if we're talking about some historic Louisville teams that I think could have been the villain and would have thrived under that pressure, this in my opinion is not one of them.
Rome, you got anything?
Give me the mid-major team that hasn't played up to hasn't had to.
So
see
he's agreeing
talent
with
like
us now. Awesome.
I agree. But with that being said, I'll be terrified going up against a team that hypothetically in that moment hadn't lost.
I mean, it wouldn't be hypothetically. It's more probably be realistically.
Yeah, dude. Will they get an 11 still if they win?
I think
if they lose that conference tournament game.
I think
if they lose the conference tournament game, usually, I mean, probably because would they be on the bubble? I mean, would they be a 10? I don't know.
There's no way they're on the bubble.
What is the bubble looking like right now? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. What is the bubble looking like?
I know Joe Lenardi put his stuff out today. I think I saw the Field of 68 said it was like
we were matched up, but that's why I brought it up was because the Field of 68 put that out there.
What was it?
Looking at here's the bubble. The last 4 byes are NC State, Missouri, Texas, and UCF. Yeah, Miami's not currently on the bubble here. Last 4 in: Santa Clara, SMU, VCU, Auburn. First 4 out: Indiana, Virginia Tech, Stanford, New Mexico, and then the next 4 out: Cincinnati, California, Oklahoma, San Diego State.
So Cincinnati's back to a next 4 out?
They lose to TCU over the weekend, didn't
they?
But
I meant, like, it's impressive they even played themselves up into conversation.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
there.
yeah, I mean, that's, by the metrics, might be almost as good as a win over Kentucky at this point.
Yeah, it's getting close.
So, Lenardi in his recent bracketology has Louisville in that 6th seed playing the winner of VCU or Auburn. It seems like Nebraska's been like the trendy 3 seed to put Louisville against. That's a team that I don't know that I'd like to go up against because they play a lot like us. And if we can't defend.
See, that would depend on, for me, I was heavy on Nebraska ball early on in the season.
It's cooling off.
They have not lived up to the hype the second half.
I called them frauds.
He did.
And then they won like 10 more games. But I knew it.
And I agree with you.
Hold on. Say that again, bro. I just caught exactly what he said.
Look, they were undefeated. They were like 7-0, 8-0 or something like that. And I was like, they're frauds. And then they continued to win like
and won 13 more games in a row.
Then they won all those games in a row. That's comedy, bro.
I agree with you that it's a team that plays a lot like us, but I think they're more balanced. But you're catching them in a time where, I mean, I feel like all the pressure is on them to overachieve, and I think that they're kind of destined to underachieve.
Like Matt McGavick said, like the Louisville, Miami of Ohio, he said absolutely not. I was like, I don't know. Like, look, Miami's a good team. Any team you're going to play is going to be a tough test, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to get a team like, oh, we're going to blow this team out. Honestly, if I could get my choice, I'd like to play Indiana another time. I think that would be.
They're going to hold themselves accountable for that. They're going to make sure that doesn't happen.
I don't want to play of the bubble teams like VCU, Auburn. I mean, look, you're going to be expected to win the first game regardless. That's the reality. Regardless of who you play, it doesn't matter what the situation is. You're going to be expected to win that game regardless. I don't really want to play Central Florida. I think that's kind of a rough first-round matchup for us.
Yeah, I want to stay as far away from that UCF team as possible.
They attack the glass and defend really well, and that's what I worry about.
They also just choose random games to forget how to basketball. So I don't.
Yeah,
you might catch
you
them
could
on
beat
a
them
night
by
they just
40,
don't
or
wake
they
up.
could beat you by 20. They're a very intriguing team to look at in terms of like start to finish what this season has gone to. But
quick programming note here, fellas. We are out at 6:41 tonight.
6:41. Okay. Do some wrap up. If you had to predict what Louisville's seed is going to be, is it a 6 seed in your opinion? Do you think that even though the bracketology, again, this time around has had Louisville 4 to a 6 seed last year, now they're like a 5 or 6 seed, do you think they get as underseeded as they did last year? Do you think that the better SOS and more the sheer number of quad 1 wins that they have, do you think that's going to save them a little bit?
I think it's going to save them a little bit. I think that this season our resume is a lot better than it was last year. That's not even debatable. Yeah. And I feel like the teams that are kind of on that bridge with us, where they're between that 8-5 area, 7-4 area, are all kind of just collapsing at the end of the season. Like, there's a lot of teams around us that we are kind of in contention with, whether that's just losing a lot of games or losing key pieces like UNC is, that you're combating that just by finishing off, holding your own, keeping yourself accountable, winning the games you're winning. And I think that if they make a decent run in the ACC tournament, you don't have to win the whole thing. I think that if things keep going the way they're going, you could play yourself up maybe 1 seed line. But I don't think I see them moving down anymore. I think that they're kind of locked in as a 6.
You think that they're locked in?
I think they're kind of locked in as a 6.
I think they'd have to win the ACC tournament to get up.
Oh, I thought you meant like to stay as a 6 seed. I was like, excuse me?
Oh, no. I meant like right now I think they're a 6. Yeah. If they made
the ACC tournament championship, let's say that they beat Miami and then they beat Virginia, do you think that they rise up to a 5?
I think they get to a 5. If they played a competitive game against Duke. If they went out there and just got absolutely mollywopped by 30 again.
But even though you got 2 more, well,
I think that's
I have to look at the net rankings real quick.
I think that's the type of situation where we would get screwed. Whereas, yes, the resume you built in the ACC tournament would help you out, but they would say, well, you've lost to Duke twice by 25 plus.
So Virginia would be – Miami wouldn't because it's neutral site. Miami would be a quad 1, but Virginia would be an additional quad 1A. So if you beat Miami, you picked up another quad 1. Like, let's say you play SMU and Miami, you pick up 2 quad 1s on Wednesday, Thursday, and then you beat Virginia on Friday and you pick up a quad 1A. Then you go to play against Duke, and regardless of what happens there, do you think that there's any chance you move up to a 5, or do you think that they're like, yeah, we've seen enough of Louisville, you're a 6?
I think the resume, if things fall into your place, some teams around you are losing like they are now, and they continue to do that, then, yeah, you have the chance to move to a 5.
See, I just have this weird feeling that even though we picked up the 1 win at Miami, it's still going to be held against us, that wins above bubble metric. Even though we're 21st there, I think that they're any opportunity to rise. It's just one of those things, man. Like a 6-foot putt in golf, I got to see it, right? Playing scramble, I got to see it. I got to see Louisville actually get seated in a justified line for once, in my opinion. So I think that if Louisville, unless they win the ACC tournament, I think that if Louisville, as long as they win Wednesday, they're a 6 seed. I'm kind of with Rome there. If you run the table this week, I think you get ranked a little higher. But at the moment, I think you're a 6 seed.
I agree with that.
I think you're a 6 seed. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Appreciate you all tuning in to this week's edition of Mondays with Dalton Pence. When we come back next week, we're going to know where Louisville's playing in the NCAA tournament. Talk to you soon. More Louisville coverage tomorrow. Mike Rutherford back on at 2:30 or 3. 2:30. Hi, this is Dalton Pence with Big X Sports Radio. Are you looking to